We're here near my pharmacy. But remember, it's pharmacy with an F, not a PH. So basically, this is where all my sicknesses were gone. All my mold-related sicknesses were gone because of this food we can see here. As I say, what I eat to make me well is the food that God is giving us, not the food that is man-made. Now have a look at this food in here. The celery, for example, you can see how much smaller it is in comparison to the celery we get from the supermarket. This is a natural, organic celery. It has very little water. It's amazing how you can actually take just the leaf and eat it, and it's not bitter. Yeah, that's it. Look at that. Again, smaller. Now, one thing that I always get from here is my asparagus. You know, it just tastes very close to the wild asparagus that I used to pick up back in Corfu near my farm. And other things that you can see in here, for example, my tea. One of the things that basically I gave up is anything to do with seeds. It's not because the seeds are bad for you, the seeds are good for you. The problem is the molds that they have when they store them. And I've noticed in a lot of my nuts, for example, there's a lot of mold. In my macadamia nuts, in the wheat, in a lot of the seeds, there is a lot of mold. And one of the things that I gave up is just the cheese from the supermarket. And what do I do get instead? The reason why I just gave up on those temporarily is because, again, I'm not sure how they are stored. So I pick up my fresh chamomile from this stall in here where they have all this organic material. And I just boil this with some other herbs and I just get my tea nice and fresh. And I know that this is organic. This is the difference. So coffee, same thing. I pick up my coffee, which is organic, and it's tested for mold, it's mold free. You can have that. The one thing that I can't give up is my coffee. So I did find a coffee that it's actually mold free. Believe it or not, a lot of the coffees, they do have problems because of the seed and how they are stored. But let's move to all the foods that they help me kill the mold. And the magic one is garlic. Now, the thing about garlic, while it's so good for you, it has everything you need for your body, antibiotics. This is the main gun against my mold diseases. But it does smell. So your friends, your family, they will just complain to you. If everybody eats it, we don't have a problem. But I'll tell you something, 2 weeks after I had garlic every day, and I'm having about half a head, so about 6 cloves every day, raw. I just cut it up into small pieces. I leave it for about 15 minutes, and then I have it raw with my other vegetables. And after 2 weeks, I couldn't smell anymore. My body got used to it. I'm not sure what it is. But now, 4 weeks later, and I don't smell anymore. Now, with garlic, also there's other very strong enemies of the molds and of our illnesses, and that is ginger, turmeric, and then you have other essential oils. Essential oils are very, very important. For example, peppermint oil. You can add it to your juices, you can add it to your food. Oregano oil. Oregano oil is amazing. It's very, very strong, and it just gets rid of a lot of the molds, including actually in your house. You can use a mixture of essential oils with vinegar and nitrogen peroxide, and you can get rid of the mold naturally without any chemicals. Remember, the molds are feeding on the chemicals, on the toxins, and they become the super molds that we're worried about. So it's very important. Essential oils, clove oil, oregano oil, thyme oil, tea tree oil, they're amazing. These are very, very strong, the biggest enemies of the molds. So, all these herbs and spices, all this amazing food that you can see in here, I mean avocado, it's the best thing you can have. This is amazing. We're here at the organic markets at Markville. Here every Sunday, and what you can find here is quite amazing. This is where I come every Sunday to pick up my medicine. This is my medicine. Now, let's have a look at the products that I have stopped eating because they're causing problems to my body. And that is everything that is related to mold, everything that is related to yeast. And there's not few of them, there's a lot of them. Let's start, for example, with any bread products, any wheat products that they actually have yeast. They need yeast in order for us to have them at the supermarket or even in places like here, for example, because people do not know that those products that they contain yeast can cause them problems. So, yeast products, we have bread, any kind of biscuits, all the things that they need yeast in order for us to have them in our plates. What else needs yeast to actually be produced? There's a lot of things, like for example cheese. Cheese needs yeast in order for us to have it, right? The other product is alcohol. Fermentation. What is fermentation? Another yeast action. So anything like, for example, beer. Beer could be the worst thing because beer has a lot of yeast in it. But not just beer, any alcohol itself, it does have a lot of yeast in it. And what else is related, of course, to the molds? Mushrooms. What is a mushroom? It's a mold. Actually, the mushroom is the adult age of the mold. And can you believe that every mushroom, it could have 15 million spores, and every spore can start a new colony. That could be a tree, that could be a plant, that could be an insect, that could be an animal, and that could be us. So, all the yeast products are out of my diet, out of my Hippocrates diet. Then, the next thing, anything to do with sugar. Unfortunately, I had to give up on a lot of things to do with sugar, including my sweets. But what I have done is I gave up on anything that it has refined sugar in it, and you'd be amazed how many products out in the market are out there. Now look at this. This is an amazing stall in here because it has a lot of vegetables, a lot of herbs, and they're all organic. And it's so easy for you to actually pick them up, put them in your garden. Instead of having lawn, instead of having the flowers, just put a little section that you can have your medicine in your own home, in your own garden. Even if you have a flat, just get some nice pots and put all these things inside. Now, look at these lemons. Look at that. And they have oranges, they have mandarins, they have all sorts of stuff. But the lemon, while it's acidic, when we actually consume it in our bodies, our body just makes it alkaline. And you know what lemon means for our body? It's a very powerful medicine. And every morning, I'll just have a little bit of warm water with half a lemon inside, and I just put a touch of baking soda. Now that's a real medicine. And you have that in the morning before you have any other food on an empty stomach, and you will see the difference within a week. Even if you just do that, just one plant, just one fruit, the lemon, and you notice the difference straight away. Now, one of the things that I gave up, and I felt so much better after I gave up, for example, meats or processed meat, which is the worst thing you can have. And I have left some sausages out of the fridge, and believe it or not, within about a few days they had mold on them. So anything to do with meat, at the moment I gave up on it. The reason is that I'm not sure how this meat is processed, and I'm very, very cautious about it. It's the same with fish, because the farm fish, if you see what these fish go through and what they eat and how they grow them, you wouldn't want to touch it. That's including smoked salmon. And of course, like my bread dipped in my olive oil, it's one of my favorite. But I given up on it only because I know how bad farm fish is, and just only the antibiotics that they feed them. And what is an antibiotic? Yet another mold. Why would you want to just consume another mold? You want to get rid of the molds from your body, not to keep feeding your body with molds. And that's the secret. We're getting rid of the molds from our food, and we're getting rid of the molds from our bodies. This is my other medicine, olive oil. And this olive oil comes from Greece. It comes from a part of Greece called Peloponnese. And a place that you probably heard of, Sparta. Now, they do have very good olive oil over there. I come from an island called Corfu. We do have a lot of olive oil trees there, but they're too big. The way you collect it, it's not very good olive oil. But this place here makes the best. Now look at this. This is organic extra virgin olive oil, and it's certified. Now, if you believe about the organic products that they're certified, we go for this one. Now, this one here, if you find it, it's not going to be very cheap, but it's very important that you go for the extra virgin olive oil, and if it's organic, it's even better. Cold press, which means that, you know, that's the extra on your extra virgin olive oil, that is cold press. So, it's going to cost me $20. But it's a small price to pay to have good health. Because if I don't have good health, I'm gonna pay a lot more than $20 at the doctors and the hospitals to make sure that I'm healthy. And I don't know if they can actually make it that they can make me healthy. While I know that this stuff here, it's gonna make me very healthy. And I can prove it to you. The last 4 weeks that I've been doing that special diet, I've lost a lot of weight. I feel so much better, and a lot of my chronic illnesses are gone. Remember, food is a medicine, and medicine is our food. Next, we're gonna just go, I can smell it from here. Just down there somewhere, there is essential oils. Let's go down there and have a look at the essential oils. We are. I'm just looking for my essential oils. I already got my peppermint oil, I got my oregano, I got my thyme oil and my clove oil, which are mostly for external use. You cannot use them in your juices or your food or whatever. You have to be very careful which actually you use in your food. Some are for different purposes. So here, for example, you can see which ones you can use in your diet, and this is the lemon extract. Now you have to be very careful with the lemon extract or orange extract, because it comes basically, this particular one comes from organic lemons, and it's very important. And we find out why now. Can I ask you, this oil, where does it come from? Which part of the fruit?
From the rind of the fruit. So it's what we call in Australia the lemon zest.
Right.
And that gives it a really strong, that's where the oil is deposited in the fruit.
Yep.
So to extract it, they have to use a huge number of the fruits to get that much oil. In our little wild orange, we've got a little wild orange here, there's 150 oranges, right?
Just in that little bottle. Can I ask you though, but if this is not organic and it's got pesticides on the outside of the tree, it will end up in the oil, isn't it?
That's correct.
So it's important that it's actually from organic fruit?
That's right. And this company, doTERRA, they have a certification, CTPG they call it, where they guarantee from the source that the quality of the oil is maintained and that there's no pesticides.
So things like the lemon oil, you can use it on your food. Lavender, that's another one, am I right?
Lavender, yes, that's organic, that one.
What else do we have in here that is edible?
We have the oregano oil.
That's edible.
Edible as well.
Edible.
Edible, that's right.
Edible. Actually, I have oregano, but actually the one that I have is not edible.
Yes.
So all right, I'll take the oregano,
Yes.
and I'll take the lemon,
Yep.
I'll take the lavender.
I also have the orange,
It's
which is edible,
edible, yep.
and I have the mandarin as well. So,
I think that will probably do me.
okay.
Okay, so how much do I owe you?
I will add that up for you. I just gotta check.
Now, I might spend about $100, but you know what? You only just need few drops of this in your juice, for example. Just few drops, just 3 drops. You know how long this will last me? Maybe a couple of months. Now, what's the price to pay for your health? I will spend $100 on this, and this is my medicine. This is what makes me well. This is how I got rid of my prostate cancer. This is how I got rid of my heart diseases. This is how I got my blood pressure back to normal. And I have a lot of my chronic diseases that they were gone because of that little price that I paid. I'll see you on the next episode, and we're gonna just go through all the little recipes that I have with all my medicines, my natural medicines. I'll just leave you again with what I said before. I only eat and drink what God has given me. I don't eat and drink everything that is handmade. This is natural. This is what God has given me. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.